Hey everyone, I'm Elena. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So this video started as eyeshadow palettes I bought in July. However, I'm filming this in the middle of August, so it will be eyeshadow palettes over July and August. So just so you know what you're going to see in this video, there will be swatches. We'll talk you through the swatches. I've also done looks with this, which I will talk you through as well, and then I'll give you my full thoughts on all these eyeshadow palettes. There is also one eyeshadow single. So I'm going to start with the 4 palettes that gave me the idea for this video, and these are these two from WetnWild, WetnWild palette, and then this one from Colourpop. Okay, so this is the first lot of palettes. 2 WetnWild 10-pan palettes and the Wildlife eyeshadow palette from WetnWild. I'm going to start with the Call Me Sunshine palette. Oh, this shimmer already seems a little bit disappointing. This yellow one is really nice. That's actually quite nice. That looks like it's got a bit of a shift to it. And that one's very intense. Let's give this palette a full swatch. So here we have all the shades. This matte is a little bit powdery. This one is built up, but once it's built up a little bit, it's got a little bit of a shift. This one's really nice, very pigmented. I really like this matte. This is another one that kind of like needs a little bit built up. Another really intense shimmer over there, and then just a regular bone shade if you want. Moving on to Heart and Soul. This one is a lot more pinkier. There we are. This is Heart and Soul. Let's try some shimmers out. Oh, this is gorgeous. Look at that one. So just from swatches, this one looks like it's a lot more consistent than the Call Me Sunshine one. Looks like the formula is pretty consistent throughout the palette. The shimmers, not had an issue with any of them. This shade right here, which is this matte, looks like it might be a bit patchy. But other than that, these are really lovely colors and they swatch very nicely. A little bit powdery, but nothing major. And this is the Wildlife eyeshadow palette from WetnWild, and it is the B one. It is this one here. I've got a foil as well. It looks very good. I want to try this honey shade. That's nice. Yellow faced. Okay, let's try a matte. Let's try red tailed. Oh, a bit powdery. Okay, so the mattes in this one feel really lovely, really soft and buttery. That's the first shade there, which looks like it would either be great for setting the eye primer or for using as highlight. The shade Mining. Quite liking the pigment in this. It looks like this red-tailed is one that you could build up to get to the intensity you want, which is something that I like in darker colors. Really enjoying this Mason and Honey shades as well. Bumble and Yellow Faced as well. They look really good. Yeah, everything looks really good. So when it comes to looks, I will start with Call Me Sunshine from WetnWild. I've used shade 6, so this shade here, which I've kind of like used to do like a smudged liner. This on top, this shade for blending, and then this shade for the inner corner. I found this shade really easy to work with. It blends so nicely and it's got nice intense color. This shade here is a lot more trickier to work with. It kind of like got hard pan. It's got a little bit of a shift, but I think it is more of an eyeshadow topper. You can get it more of a shimmer, but you gotta build and build. For the third look, I've used this shade here, which is my fifth shade, and shade 9, so 6, 7, 8, 9, this one here, and then I've used this shade here in the crease. So overall thoughts, I do like the color scheme of this. Some shades are not that easy to work with. This one is not that great to work with either, but I think this is more of a topper. Once you get it on, it looks really good. This shade here also has a bit of a shift. It has like a gold base, so yeah, that looks nice as well. Other than these two shades, I have no complaints about any of the other eyeshadows. I think they perform really nice, and this is a very affordable palette, so yeah, it's really worth it. We've got Heart and Soul. So for my first look, I've used this shade here in the crease, then I've used the second shade, the first shade, and then this shade on my mobile lid. I've used this shade here as a liner. On my lower lid, I've kind of like mirrored what I've done on my upper lid. For my second look with this palette, I've started with the first shade here, and then I have layered this shade with this shade on top of each other on my lid. So overall thoughts, this one doesn't have any duds as compared to the Call Me Sunshine eyeshadow palette. Really lovely to work with. Again, the darker shades are really nice to blend, really easy to blend, so sometimes they can be patchy, especially at this price point, but I don't have any issues with this eyeshadow palette. Everything pulls a little bit warmer, so you have warmer pinks in here. Things can look a little bit monochromatic sometimes, but I think there's enough variation to do all sorts of different looks with this. And then this over here is such a lovely shade. Does have a bit of a peachy gold type of shift, so yeah, it's really nice. Between these two, I think the quality of this is a lot better, but I do kind of like the color scheme of this one a little bit better. Who knew I like neutrals? I do like all sorts, to be perfectly honest with you. I like neutrals and I like color, as you can tell from my eye look today. Overall, I think the quality of this one is better, but I like the color scheme of this one better. Moving on to the B palette from Barry M. I've used this one in a try-on video, which I will link. I've used these three shades here, this one and this one. And then my second look, I've used this shade all over the lid. My third look, I've used this shade here, this shade here. I've used this for highlight and all around, and then solitary to blend in the crease. Quality wise, out of all the palettes so far, this is by far the best quality. This is also a very affordable palette. The quality of it is comparable to high-end. It is lovely quality, so I'm definitely interested in getting more Barry M palettes, and if you can get Barry M, do. It's lovely. It's also vegan and cruelty free, so right now in the summer I'm kind of gravitating towards these shades here, not so much these. My only criticism with the palette is these two shades actually look very similar on the eye, which you would have seen in my try-on video, and I think the rest will work very nicely during autumn. That's when I would kind of like gravitate towards these colors a little bit more. This dark color here is not super pigmented. You do have to build it up if you want it a little bit more pigmented, but actually I do like that about darker colors sometimes, because you can control them a little bit more, and sometimes you can make them a lot more wearable. If, for example, you just don't feel comfortable wearing something very dark or very pigmented for work, let's say, or for school or for whatever, so something like this can be actually really nice. You can give depth to your looks but without it being overpowering. So yeah, I really enjoy this eyeshadow palette. Okay, moving on to the Mandalorian palette from Colourpop. This is something I got for my birthday and I specifically requested it. I do have the child palette, which I love. Not only that, it's Star Wars and it's Mandalorian, so I had to have this palette too. Got this for my birthday, very excited. This is what it looks like. Ooh, that looks good. Bit powdery, but a really pretty color. So that's everything swatched. The mattes feel really nice and soft, and they look like they're going to blend nicely. The shimmers are a little bit powdery, but they are very nice as well. So yeah, I can't wait to do looks with this one. So for the first look, I've used this shade here, and then this shade in the crease, and also on the lower lid. Then I've used Clan of Two, which is this shade here, and Imperial Credit over here on the lid, and then Beskar Steel in the inner corner. The third look actually ended up a little bit similar to my first look. I didn't even realize it until I actually saw the picture side by side. I think if I would have used this to blend, it would have looked a little bit more different. So basically I've used Creed and then Navarro Sand in the crease, which is this one. I think, like I said, if I would have used this one, it would have looked a little bit more different. And then I've used this glitter shade all over the lid. This is lovely quality. Some shades can be a little bit crumbly, but I normally do my eyes before the rest of my face, so that's not a huge deal. But it is really lovely quality and very unique, some quite unique shades in here. So I quite like the combination of colors, also quite unique. So it's one that I'm very happy to own. Okay, I'm also going to include this eyeshadow single and then this eyeshadow quad that I also got, well, in theory I also got in July, but this one didn't arrive until August. So this I actually got from TK Maxx. It's the only one I don't have a picture with. This is from L'Oreal, and it is their oil eyeshadow, and this is shade Keep On. And I don't have a cutaway with either of these, but I will swatch them for you right now. This is kind of like a metallic green. And then this squad is from Kiko Milano. I am thinking that my Kiko Milano video might come out before this one, in which case you would have seen the look I've done with this quad. I've used every single shade, and this is what a quad looks like. It's a more cool toned, baked eyeshadow formula. It's more of an everyday type of eyeshadow formula. You can kind of like make this be a little bit more for a nighttime if you want to as well. So it basically has 3 shimmers and 1 matte. The shimmers are a little bit more towards the satin formula, if that makes any sense. I will insert the swatches that I've done for this one for the Kiko Milano video, because the swatches I'm trying right now are not working out. So far I'm enjoying this one as a more muted, more everyday type of eyeshadows. So these are the eyeshadow palettes that came into my collection in July and August. I do hope you've enjoyed this type of video. I would love to hear your feedback in the comments. If there's anything you'd like to see done differently with this type of video, yeah, just let me know. Looking to improve this maybe I'll just do this in the future, so but I'm looking to improve this. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. This really helps me out. I'm hoping that if you're not subscribed yet, you'll stick around for more videos from me. Thank you very much for watching all the way to the end, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.